Gotta get in my chair here.
Yeah, I for sure need to get in your chair.
And
we're still doing the little bouncy thing too.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Don't touch
I'm
it!
not touching it.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare touch
It won't
it!
let me have my microphone.
No, it does not need to be closer to you.
I need my microphone.
You are loud enough.
That's true because I live with deaf people.
Yes, but we are not deaf.
I know.
They have control of their volume.
Do they really?
They do.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Oh my God, she sounds like a frog.
I have a fur ball in my throat. Squirrels get them too, you know.
I don't know.
It is Sunday, September 5th. How do you like that? September. Number 62.
I am liking it.
The weather's going to get cooler.
Oh, the weather is so much nicer.
Outside.
So Sunday, September
goodness.
5th. Fleck around the table. The crew's back together. Thank you, Jennifer, for being here the last couple of weeks. We really appreciate it. I'm Deb.
Sue.
Mika.
There we have it. We didn't even choreograph that.
No, we didn't.
We just sort of spontaneously did that for you. So
We do that in all kinds of places too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very a little odd.
Song and dance.
I'll get my dragons going again and turn my phone off.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, she's in a.
I had to put a picture up on Instagram so y'all could see what the giveaway is this week.
Oh yeah, let's start there.
We're not
No,
gonna.
that
No,
ends-
No, it's towards the end. You have to pay attention.
but you can go to Instagram right now. I just posted it so
We're
you
gonna
can see a
pull.
picture of it.
I'm pulling everybody in.
Yeah.
Can you tell? Oh, the work.
Oh
It's
my
strange.
gosh, you are such a dork.
I know. I'm back. See, I was all by myself last week. See, so I have a lot to get out because I was so
Jeez
quiet
Louise.
on my own. There was like nobody to talk to, but the towel
But the-
animals that he put on my bed.
But all of the people that were on the cruise,
Yeah.
all of them.
Well, yeah, and I mean, as you all know, I went on a cruise to the Caribbean, and last week it was amazing. It was hot, but the cruise ship was only 40% full. So we're talking, you could sit at a table for hours and nobody would say anything. You could get a chair by the pool. Pretty much anyone you want, like normally you have to get out there at 7:30 in the morning to get a decent pool chair.
Well, I don't know because I've never been on a cruise, so.
And you could just pick one at random during the course of the day and you'd be fine because there just weren't the number of people that normally are on there. There's more crew, I think, than guests.
Yes.
So they had a lot of time to spend and talk to us and everything. So that was, every once in a while you'd be like that. And somehow they must pick up on it that you're by yourself. And the one guy at the bar.
fact that you were sitting alone.
Sitting by
I
yourself.
would go to the bar because I got my diet, my pop, and he said, well, Missy, he said, diet, and how they know this is beyond me. They're amazing. The people that work on these cruise ships must go through some sort of memory training class.
No.
Because
as a former
get to
bartender
know you.
myself, I can tell you that we remember people by what they drink, not their name.
Well, because I was referred to Missy quite often.
Uh-huh.
But he was like, let me get you a Diet Pepsi. And I'm like,
yep.
could you have caffeine free? Oh, you need the jolt. And that's just as cute as could be. They were so fun and everything. But it was great. And then I got to talk to them. A lot of them went to work in hotels or things and got just jobs wherever they could get jobs when they couldn't work on the cruise ship.
Sure.
Because during the time off, and they didn't think they would be off work as long as they did. The one girl said, well, at first I just got home and kept waiting for them to say, we're going to have you come back. She goes, I didn't want to spend any money because I knew I'd have to fly to my ship, thinking they were going to, I think she said she came home from, I don't know, somewhere in Europe, and she lived in the Philippines. And she said, I didn't want to spend all my money, so I couldn't get to the ship, thinking they just left the ship tied up.
They don't get their crew to the ship. It's the crew's responsibility to get to the ship?
Yeah, I think so. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think sometimes they set up their timing or something to get them closer so that they're not flying,
halfway around the world.
She was only like 3 months into her 7-month contract when COVID hit.
Oh, I got
So she said they changed, because I said at one point, we were on one cruise, and I said, all of a sudden we had different people in the middle of the cruise, and I thought that was strange. She says, well, it must have been when the contract ended. Sometimes they let you finish to the port where you came and went. Some people leave on their date because of so it may be cheaper if they're on a cruise to, Alaska, to stay on it until they get back to LA to get a good flight, or maybe if they're in Seattle, they can get home much easier than, other. But
yeah,
anyway,
I guess that didn't even occur to me. That was
not being a cruiser.
I'm not a cruiser.
Nope.
I just
Nor a cruise worker.
Nor
a cruise worker. That is one profession I have never done.
Yeah, so we found one that's who
I've
hasn't
done just about everything else.
Yeah, but she hasn't done that.
Nope.
So it was great. It was fun. The balcony was good. I sent cool pictures. I had a bird that was sort of stalking the ship one night. That was fun.
Almost blew that up and put it on Instagram.
It was so cool because there were more of them on the other side.
Did they tell you what kind of birds those were?
I never asked, but I'm sure somebody would. But it looked like a darker goose or something like that. But it's somebody who stays on the ocean.
They're a seabird
on the port I was on the
whatever on one
I'm
side.
on the starboard side, and on the port side, I guess there were about 12 of them, but the 3 that were on our side. And then there was one guy who kept going around the ship. And every once in a while, you'd see him coming. And you'd and then they would come along, and he'd be coming down, and he'd be lower, and he would dive into the water, and he'd come up with a fish.
Of course he did, because that's how
and
he
sometimes,
eats.
sometimes he just let it go. And it would flop back in the water.
It was too big.
It wasn't cooked right.
Yeah.
He sent it back.
Sent it back. There you go.
Sent it back.
So that was a cool thing. And then coming home from the Bahamas, we were like next to the shipping lanes. So there were a bunch of other ships
I would assume you
around.
would be in the shipping lanes.
And so there were a bunch of, I thought we were in rush hour. Seriously, because there was and then one was towing another one back. A tugboat was towing a boat back. They had broken down. So the Coast Guard had sent out a tugboat for them. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
Oh,
Just about
please
that
God,
part.
let that be
There'll
true.
be more parts, but that part I'm going to let off. And I thought, when I got on the ship, I was so impressed. We got there was, they have these habit trails. Of course, you're like...
Like you're in line for a ride at Disney?
Yeah, like 18 different rows. But it kept moving and kept moving.
Can you use a scooter to get
yes.
onto a...
And you can rent them and leave them right there at the terminal. I know. Yeah. So I thought about that. I thought next time I think I may need a scooter. Just think how much fun that would be rolling around the ship in a scooter.
A scooter?
The stairs might be a little bit of a problem.
There's elevators.
There's elevators. We can figure it out. Hop, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, we'll leave one down on one deck and the one up.
There we go.
And I'll ride on the back.
There you go. And
Apparently I'm not going.
Well, you can have your own scooter.
Oh, thanks.
yeah, you'll have to get a roommate, or we'll have to have 2 cabins because you could never fit 3 scooters in those little rooms.
You can't put 3 people in those little rooms.
No, it was tough. And I was in a room that the bathroom was barely meant for 1. The shower was barely meant for 1, much less.
Well, I wouldn't take a shower with you anyway, so that wouldn't be an issue.
No, it's true. Yeah, we wouldn't do that. But I was
just
very
bring my bar of
impressed.
soap to the pool.
There
you go.
And I had plenty of outside showers to rinse off because the one, I think the
I don't
one
wash
pool
my
was
hair
salt
but
water.
once a week anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. I never got splashed. I put my feet in the water and I did have my suit on, but I never got totally wet. So I don't know if they were salt water or fresh water.
Oh,
The rinsing ones?
No, the pools.
the pool.
Oh,
Food was plentiful and
probably
good.
salt water because there's plenty of it there.
Yeah, they can just
It
grab
makes more
and-
sense than putting chemicals in.
Yeah. So then,
Yeah, and then they can flush it every day.
Yeah.
Put new in.
When they go really, really fast, they're just scooping up salt water.
Yeah.
that could be it. Yeah, maybe at night they just pump it out and pump it in. You never know.
It's part of the jet.
Yeah. Okay, there you have it. That's kind of moved us along pretty good.
Yeah.
Because he really did kind of kick it in the bucket at night. You could, because of the way the lights were, boy, it was just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. During the day, you'd get this every once in a while a splash from the waves on the ship because he did not go as fast during the day. Obviously, you don't want anybody to fall overboard. So, you don't want anybody him
Right,
going
yeah.
against the wind or something, whatever. It was fun. We had a good time. Casino, great.
Okay.
I thought
Stop
she was
yelling.
done talking about it.
Stop yelling.
I'm
Stop
yelling
yelling.
because I've been around deaf people.
Okay.
Yeah.
My husband just won't wear them. He does not put his hearing aids in.
Well, my mother just, I talked about this maybe last week, about my mother getting hearing aids. And she is so glad she did, because now when she goes out with her friends, she can hear what they're saying and she can participate in conversations.
Oh, yeah.
The only problem we're having is I have grown used to shouting at her because she was hard of hearing, and I'm upsetting her because I'm shouting at her. And she can tell.
Stop shouting at me.
And she,
That's what we have to do to Deb.
I have
yes.
to do that
We
too.
just have to keep telling her, stop shouting.
Because my husband,
These guys out there in computer land,
they just turn the volume
can
down.
actually turn the volume up or down, so you don't need to shout at them.
Yeah.
Even the people who aren't wearing their hearing aids,
I think the
they can
locals
turn the volume up.
just open and close the window. They kind of know.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. So you went up and saw your
So my mom.
mama
Yeah, and
and
she's
fams.
yeah, and my boys.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, I can tell a marked difference in her just mood, being able to hear and participate in
Well,
conversations.
can you just imagine?
I can't imagine, and so
Well, it's good
I
that
feel
you
better
did that.
about what she's doing.
Oh, yeah, that's- yeah.
She's pretty social. She goes out with her friends.
Hell, she does more than I do.
Several days a week. She plays bridge. She goes to dinner. She goes to lunch.
Bless her heart.
And all of those experiences are more pleasant when you can hear what the other person is saying.
Oh, yeah.
So
Or-
yeah,
yeah.
she's
Or she can just leave it on and act like she can't hear and then gather all the intel.
Yeah, she can pretend like she didn't hear a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
she can
gosh,
just
that
sort
would
of-
be hysterical, right?
But have you ever done that at a restaurant where people are talking like in Spanish or something, and you know that they're bitching about something, and they say something, and just the way their tone,
Oh no,
and then you look at them
Jamie
like,
speaks it. So there's been a few times where Jamie, my husband, you've seen Sasquatch walk back here. He's 6'5", bald, built
was a guy in a
like a
ship.
retired linebacker.
there's a guy in a ship that could have been his brother.
You should have snagged
And
a
I
picture of
never
him.
had my phone with me when I'd see him. And he was up playing golf too, because they have a driving range.
It
that
was
you
my
can get to
husband,
the-
really.
Must
I
have
sent
been.
him.
Okay. He looked just like him.
Back to the Spanish thing. So my husband took like 4 or 5 years of Spanish.
Ah.
Now, at this point in his age, he probably couldn't speak it really, really fluently.
But he knows.
But he
food.
understands
yeah.
what people are saying. And so we were at a McDonald's or a Burger King or something, and Tori was very little.
Uh-huh.
And these kids were, I know when I say kids, they were like 20. They were in their 20s. In a booth beside us, and they were making fun of this older lady in Spanish. They were totally like,
Being
I don't
rude.
know, they were being very mean about her, And my husband, who's very large, turns around in his seat and spews back to them in Spanish, basically, shut the up. We know
Right.
what you're saying, so if you can't say anything nice, get the flip out of
Outta
here.
Yeah.
And you should have just seen the looks on their faces like, holy crap, there are people that know what we're saying. Yeah, they shut up right away.
Well, maybe next time they'll kind of think about that when they look around,
Maybe they've grown up since then.
Yeah, well, they certainly have. It was more than 20 years ago that happened, so they're 20 years
Well, no,
older.
but I mean, even after that incident, maybe the next time they went into a restaurant, they either spoke softly, more just
Yeah.
to each other, and
But
not.
still, it's just
Or,
rude.
yeah, it is. It's,
It's
rude
just
in
rude.
general.
It's just rude.
Yeah.
I walked out of a nail salon once.
Yeah.
Again, Tori was younger, but she was probably 10, 12, somewhere in there. And I had acrylic nails, and so I was getting a fill. And so I go in, and it was a Korean boy, young man who was doing my nails. And the grandma, she's yelling at him and yelling. I mean, you can tell the tone. So she is yelling at him and he's calmly saying something back to her. And you can kind of tell the tone, even though you don't understand the language. She was yelling at him probably about something that he had done.
Right.
And he was like not now, Grandma, I'm with a customer.
Right.
You know, and she was just like, right back to him. And he's like, he continually just was like, and she goes back to another room and then she's yelling across the thing to him. And at one point in time, I looked at Tori, who my daughter was sitting right next to me. I said, are you uncomfortable? And she goes, very. And I looked at the young man and I said, and we were only 10 minutes, 10 minutes into this. I said, you're being very pleasant, but my daughter and myself are very uncomfortable right now. So we're going to go ahead and go.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm very sorry. And I said, it's not your fault. You've been calm and rational, but this is not the sort of environment that I really want to be in or have my daughter around at the moment. And the grandma
probably started stressing you out.
She did. She ran after me. And I've got, I've had Dremel tooled. I got white powder all over my hands and I'm just walking out of the place. And she's like, you owe it. And I said, I'm sorry, but I don't. I don't owe anything.
Right. If anything, I would have tipped the boy, but he would have probably given it to Grandma.
And I believe I did because,
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah. As a matter of fact, now I have to go to another place to get this fixed.
Sure. So I have to find another one.
So she understood me just fine.
Yeah, when it came to that part. Yeah.
So watch what you say.
Yeah, be careful when you're around. Yeah, because I know.
Well, just watch what you say.
Yeah, I mean.
There's no reason to be overly rude. I mean, traveling and just hearing all these incidents on airplanes and acting up. There's no reason.
Gosh,
frustration is frustration. Don't get me wrong.
Frustration.
I was waiting for the van to come and pick me up afterwards, and I was hot and sticky, and I was concerned that I wasn't going to get to the airport. But there's nothing. And so I would call, and she was just rude enough on the phone when I called that it set me off. Mm-hmm. Now, the second time I called, because it was 20 minutes after they were supposed to pick us up, and she said the driver messed up. He went to Mardi Gras first, and he should have come to Magic because there was only 2 of us, but like 12 of them. And he said he made the wrong turn, so we went to Mardi Gras first. And she gave me a ton of excuses. I said, I know, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be overly. I said, I'm hot, I'm anxious. She goes, no, that's perfect. I mean, she was fine. The first one set me off. I was already set off. So
you were already hot and anxious.
I was already hot and anxious. Plus, they just get so technical. I didn't leave the building. So it says you can't come back in. But I never left the building because I knew it was hot out there.
Right.
So I stayed at the door in the air conditioning. I was past where the guard was to the thing, but there's about 20 feet between the guard and the door, and I just stayed inside the door, and there was a bathroom there. And she goes, you can't stay here. And I said, why
not?
I said, I'm not hurting anything. I'm visible. It's not like I'm digging in my, I was just standing there watching outside. She goes, well, you just can't stand here. And I was like, I was dumbfounded, and I left because I knew my first choice would be, and she was government, one of the government.
And she had on a uniform.
She had a TSA thing on.
No, actually, they use an outside distributor. TSA doesn't have enough people, so they hired an outside company. Of course, typical government thing. So they give them all a temporary little power badge. And so these outside companies think that they can. And I reminded her, I said, well, basically, you work for me. That was my first thing that was going to pop out. And,
stop it, Karen.
and I didn't. And so I went out and I sweat and I, kind of took my first frustration out on the first phone call to the person, And then, of course, the guy and I got the last 2 seats on this bus. Like this. And we're not tiny, but neither one of us were tiny people. In the back row where there were already 2 not tiny people.
Right.
And the 2 tiny people who could have been back there were in their own seats. About the size of your mom, about like this big in a seat that you could put 12 of them in the back seat.
You're getting louder as you get more excited.
I know, I do. Whatever. Here, you know what we need to do? We'll put an earplug in this ear so that it sounds normal to you.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I have to
Sorry, you guys have to go up and down on your volume.
I have to tell you my experience at the audiologist with my mom.
oh, but that was exciting.
Please.
We walk in and
Speaking
we neither
of
one
volume.
and we neither one had masks on, just not thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Could you please put a mask on?" "Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry. I apologize. Wasn't thinking." And she said, so we both got our masks on. And she said, "And here's hand sanitizer that I would like for you to use." Okay, so hand sanitizer. Walk in her office and sit down. Her dog comes out. And she said, "Oh, he wants you to pet him." And I'm thinking, I had to have sanitary hands to pet the dog? So I thought that was a little odd, but Mother assured me that once the dog got petted, he would go lay down and wouldn't bother us. Well, I don't mind dogs anyway, but the fact that I had to sanitize my hands and go in and pet the dog was just a little bizarre to me.
It's fun.
So-
Oh my goodness.
So they wanted the dog.
Didn't want the dog to have germs.
Yeah, I guess so. That's kind of cute. I like that. That's fun. That I have to admit, because it's not second nature for me to put the mask on, and I even put it on a hanger.
Yeah.
So that I'd always have it with me. I put on my lanyard with my little seat card, and I'd put on my thing, and I'd put it on, and I'd go into the restaurant, and then I'd take it off because obviously you're eating, and then I get up to go get something else or something to drink, and I would forget to put it back on. And so some people around you would remind you, because the first couple of days, man, they were like, "Oh, the mask, the mask, the mask,
The plane.
the mask." So you put it on, and then I'd stop midstream. You got 60 people behind you. Damn, I forgot to put my mask on. And everybody's like, boom, 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 boom. And I just go off on my merry little way. You know, so they're all kind of scrunched together. But
So I didn't do anything all that great and fun this last week.
no,
No.
just work.
Work.
Are you off Monday because of Labor Day?
I am.
Yay!
I am. We, amongst the rest of the world, are having supply chain issues.
Really? I'm
Of course.
sorry.
You know, it is what it is. It'll get there when it gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the bad thing,
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
I think some of the bad thing is that you order, say, 1,000 of something, because in your line of business you keep that sort of way. So they may send you a
That's a
partial,
small quantity.
right? So they send you 100, and you're like, okay, I can get started on some of it, and then you order your next batch because you normally go through X amount, and then you get 9,850 of them when you don't really need them.
Well,
And
that's not the case with us. We're getting a container a day right now that are 3 to 4 months old.
Oh wow!
So, like, the shipyards in Chicago, coming off the Great Lakes,
Yeah,
they're just closed. We have containers sitting there in Chicago in unmanned
neighborhoods.
no, in the shipyards they're unmanned, that we just have to pay for a daily storage fee because it's unmanned and they don't know when they can get it out.
Right.
We've been sitting there for months. We're like, can we send our own truck up there to get it?
No.
Nope, it's unmanned. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, there were two
crazy.
ships that have been just sitting there since this whole thing started. The
Yeah,
Disney Wonder was just sitting there, parked there with no, I'm sure it had a maintenance crew on it or anything, but they just kind of hanging out. And there was a whole big parking lot area that had stacks of shipping containers that I don't remember seeing.
Oh no,
because
and
this is just
the shipyards are closed down.
Yeah, this is just the cruise port. This isn't necessarily where I can imagine what they look like in the, when you go to the ones
Chicago area.
Yeah,
Chicago,
or
New
even
York,
LA,
Miami,
or any of them along the coast that take bigger
along the
shipments and
coast.
stuff.
Yep.
So
Louisiana.
yeah,
So that's where my
Texas.
yarn is.
yeah, that's where our yarn is.
We have a lot of our containers come through the Great Lakes.
Because they have to go to Canada first.
No, I don't know how they get there.
Down to St. Lawrence.
Whatever.
Well, they come down to St. Lawrence, but it doesn't come from China, would go through. Well, I know a lot of shipping companies, even when we were in Antarctica in February of 2020, how they were saying that a lot of companies there are not going through the canal. They're going around instead of going through Panama. They're taking the longer trip around because they can get on the docket and get there to get unloaded, because they're usually 3 or 4 days behind on the unloaded stage where they're going to. Say they're going to Baltimore. So they're coming from China. If they know if they take the 4 extra days to go around the end of South America, they can charge her more because of the shipping. Oh. But they get to Baltimore.
You guys.
They get to Baltimore on time to get it unloaded, even though it's
but it
4
doesn't
days
matter.
behind.
It doesn't matter. It's going to sit in a shipyard and not move anyway, because we don't have the truck drivers here.
Exactly to do what they need to do
to move it. They're just.
It's a chain reaction thing. It's everything is just kind of bundling down. I remember getting yarn from,
seriously, prices are going to skyrocket
from England. I had ordered it like November, but because of the way the shipping and the checking and blah 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 is, it took till January. And normally I would get it within 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. Stephen and Penelope got it the same week. Not anymore.
Yeah, but they sent it. They sent it away. Yeah, DHL.
And then it's coming from Amsterdam, which didn't go through.
But that doesn't go into a container.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've talked about all the shipping woes, would you like to see the new yarn I ordered?
Yeah, and then I can show them everything I knitted when I was on the cruise, but I want to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
You have your nice little.
I do. This is Bendy Arrow with a new shawl cuff.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, she
makes new ones.
She had them last.
Why don't you go ahead and start with that then?
No, I didn't have this last week.
Is it? Oh, you're right.
I did not have this last week.
Oh,
this is
my gosh. Isn't that great?
And it's magnetic, so the magnet actually hits right there.
But Marsha, you are amazing.
This is Miss Marsha on
Felted Garden.
The Felted Garden. Yeah. Anyway, let's see your
yarn. Okay. I love it.
Stop.
This is.
I need to take this off.
Yeah.
Sinful Yarn, and you can guess the name of the color name.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh my goodness! Look at this, guys. Look at that.
So the company name is Sinful Yarn?
Sinful Yarn Company.
Wow, where are they at?
Yarn Company.
That's a good question.
Don't know.
Oh, well.
They're on Etsy and Instagram.
Yeah. That's fine.
As Sinful Yarns.
Yep.
What you going to do with the DK weight there?
I really have no clue.
Jack-o'-lantern. Very
But I saw this on Instagram and just
all the variations of it has orange and it has a green and a tan and a black. So wonderful.
Nice. Yeah, I just had to.
Had to. Weren't you on moratorium? Did you fall off the wagon?
But only a little bit.
Okay. Only twice. Last weekend, this week.
And maybe once more.
I think you're fully off.
No, but I'm not buying it every week. We need to send her
back to rehab. She needs to get a reboot in her.
I was buying yarn every single week, and I'm not doing that.
Well,
and
that's
I'm not.
Good. Nice.
Yeah, but
What do you have in mind with this?
I know exactly what I would do with it.
What?
I'd make hats and mittens.
Wow. That's because you make hats and mittens.
I love hats and mittens. Even though I never wear hats.
Is that sock or DK?
It's DK.
It's DK. It's really nice, and it's got a nice chunk. You could do something good, real fun with that.
I could do something good with it.
You could do something good with that.
Yeah,
as opposed to
something just every day.
Every day, yeah.
You could make a giant pumpkin with that.
I could.
That would be a cute pumpkin.
Which I would have done along about March.
Well, it'd be good for next Halloween.
Next year.
Next fall.
I don't decorate for Halloween.
Which I have to admit, they send out these advent calendars in December, and you're supposed to do one skein a day. I mean, they're minis, but still, that's 90 yards in a day. to open up the next one, and I think that they should come up with
Leah
them.
can do it. Leah can do it.
Leah can
Yeah,
do
I'm sure
it.
she can.
Pygmy Tiger can do it.
Yeah, she can.
But to me, they should send out the Advent stuff in July so you could work on it.
But
and have
that's
it.
not what Advent
I
is all
understand.
about. What they should do is send you spring colors in your Advent calendar.
Oh, now that's a good idea. Yeah, Mass Ave Knits did that the one year. She used Hedgehog minis, and they were very bright, and I think most of them are everyday colors more so than holiday colors.
Yeah.
Well, and weren't there some Halloween Advents?
Yeah, this year there
Yeah.
were the 13 days.
Whoa!
13 things.
Calm down
Sorry.
the sound, man.
I'm
He
sorry.
gets excited and gets loud.
I'm gonna stop because speaking of holiday, I got a lot of comments on this on the ship.
Yeah, and is that Ba?
Brenda and Heather, how did
okay.
you know?
Because of the stitch marker, actually.
Well, that too. See, look, I started a little limp thumb instead of limp dick. Limp thumb mitten because I'm writing out the pattern. So that's what I'm calling it,
that way.
limp thumb afterthought. Limp afterthought thumb or something like
Whatever.
that. And this is Brenda and Heather, one of their
Is this
socks.
the Christmas
It's called Santa's Little Helper.
Santa's
They always
little
give you a
helper?
really cute little thing to show you how it's going to stripe on the back. But this is Brenda and Heather. And I ran into only one other knitter on the whole show.
Really?
Just one.
Well, because there was only 10 people on the show.
I know. And she doesn't
Male or
use,
female?
Female.
Okay.
She doesn't use a lot of
Self-striking?
hand
Oh.
dye, independent dye.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
really?
She was more of she was afraid because she just knitted scarves and things, and so I sat down and showed her some stuff on YouTube and things like that, and she said, I didn't know. And there's no yarn shop in her environment. It's mostly Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby that she
Yes,
gets
but
to.
online is so online
I know.
anywhere, right?
And she
Yeah.
just didn't, and she was like, I'm just so afraid to spend that kind of money on, and I said, but you can wash it the same way. Some of them can even be dried, or you just, So I spent quite a bit of time with her. She was so excited afterwards. She was like, and I told her to watch Leah's Pygmy Tigers. Hi, Leah. She's our good friend. I told her, I said, she's way beyond where you're at. But she talks about the dyers and the yarn, and she tells you about the fibers because she's into all that and she knows all that
Well,
stuff.
and that's her.
And that's her thing.
That's
I
her
said, she
jam.
used it. I show up with this, and I don't know how many Christmases I've actually had it. Leah will do it in a day. So you'll see, did you see that last episode? She went from sock to sock to sock. I was like, how did you do that?
Well, 2 of them were DK.
Yeah, but still. I don't care. So anyway, I started this on the cruise, and I did that one day, and I had them all very amazed. I didn't say I just carried up the yarn,
Which is what you like to do.
which is what I like to do. So I'm writing out that pattern, so eventually you guys will have the limp thumb. You guys will know it as limp dick, but I didn't say that on the ship as much. And then I also did it, how we talked about the crazy yarn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that was Crazy Yarn, and actually, when I posted your picture on Instagram, Katie came on, the owner of Village Yarn Company. She goes, I spy Crazy Yarn.
It was wound, and I just, all of a sudden, it was one of these things I went, I bet I could do mittens with that.
And that's more DK.
And this is
than
more
fingering.
of a sport to DK
Yeah,
than
sport to
fingering.
DK.
So I went ahead and I started it, and when I talk about afterthought thumb, you just put in a piece of waste canvas, and then you go back and pick
Waste
that up.
yarn. Guys,
Yeah, that
not
too.
waste canvas.
I was
You're
was needle
sewing.
pointing. I was cross stitching as well on the ship, so that's canvas.
Okay.
So anyway, and I was using waste canvas on the ship because it was never mind. And so then this is where you would put the thumb. You pick up those things. They're telling me I'm a squirrel, and I'm a squirrel. People would ask me what my name was, and I almost said Filbert, but I didn't. So anyway, that's where we're going to put the thumb. But this is a DK, and you just go around. Real fun. So that was my second project that I kind of worked on. You remember back in January when we said we were going to do kind of a knit-along crazy thing?
And
And we never really got anywhere with it. Well, I
Okay.
took that Mapito with and did one stockinette, one lace, and just about another stockinette section on that. I hadn't touched it in months. But I worked on that.
Yeah,
and,
mine is sitting back there too.
And my orgasm
Yeah.
is about this much longer.
Because
So
you brought that too.
I brought that along.
Well, you brought way more than your 2 projects you said you were going to bring.
Yeah, I know. I worked on Mapito and
I have
orgasm
another little.
going down, mainly because I hadn't started these. This I worked on the way home. And then because I have this friend that I like, and she's pretty okay, and I had made a pair of mittens back in March, and she had said she wanted a pair. So I thought, well, I'll just get some pretty pink and make a mitten for her. So I made one whole mitten for this person, but when you work with the pattern, it ends too quick, and I think that person's thumb may get stuck, or it just may be because my nail's long. I don't know. I have to figure it out. But
I don't know who you know that likes.
I'm not sure,
Blush
but maybe
pink.
you could try that on.
Let me
and see
try it
how you
on
like
and
it.
see.
And this is fiber seed. And check out the pattern to it. I did this all in my office on the cruise ship.
This fits me just perfectly.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Look,
Then
little
it'll be
finger
fine.
is right there at the tip.
I think it's just because of my stupid nail.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's all these like cords inside of here.
I know I have to get them out.
That's so that you can play with something when you.
Yeah, I don't want you to get bored. Yeah, be careful. The gift that I have to make, I have to put the thumb on. This wasn't an afterthought thumb. This was a built-in thumb. And this is the past pattern. It's called Chelsea Mittens, and it's on Ravelry. And part of the thing that grabbed me to it is because they were in pink. And this is
Because you can't make them any different color than the color that is shown on the pattern.
because I had bought this rose water, fiber seed rose water. That's what this yarn is. Specifically for this friend who likes pink. So I thought, well, and at first I was like gonna work on it completely. I did this one on Monday and Tuesday, so I was done with this on Tuesday. And
I know we need to get a picture of that. It needs to go up on the Insta.
isn't that great?
Yeah.
I thought
We
you'd
need a
like
picture.
that.
It is pretty. It's very pretty.
So my pink person is
Don't let me forget to take a picture of that and put it up on Insta.
and
Instagram.
I worked on the orgasm and the mojito.
Yeah, you already.
And I got all that fun stuff done, and a lot of the crew would stop and ask me, and of course here we are again in the Bahamas, 90-degree humidity.
Yeah,
80
but
degrees.
you're working on something that's
Well,
little.
that's what they said. And then a couple of their crews were like, "Oh, when we go to Alaska, that would be great," especially the fingerless ones. And I said, "Yeah, you're probably right." So I was very productive.
Yes, you were. Calm down, no.
I can't.
You have to, because she has more to show.
Okay.
I have been spending a lot of time with my mother, which is fine. And I have almost finished my rocket tee. I need to bind off.
Yay!
I need to bind off, then do the sleeves and the band around the collar.
Oh, that'll be great.
But that's coming right along. So I said to Mom, would you like for me to make you a sweater? Oh, yeah, that'd be great. So this is the one that I've picked out for her, and it is Sea Glass by Christy Archer.
Oh, nice.
Nice picture.
Isn't that?
Ooh,
And I think
lovely.
I described it
it's
to
just
her.
a nice plain, like the bottom.
Yeah, it's got kind of a lace at the bottom. And this is the yarn I'm going to use, which is called Pansiest Pansy.
We showed that.
Yes, we have shown it.
Yeah.
And it's by Sock Obsession. I had to get a third skein.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah,
That's
I
what
love
it's
that
great.
yarn. I love that yarn.
Sure.
And it's I think it's got some cashmere in it.
Sock Obsession.
80/20 superwash and nylon.
Okay, I lied, but it feels really nice.
It's very squishy.
Yes.
It's very
They're-
squishy.
Their website is so much fun to
Oh my
watch and
gosh,
check.
she's got wonderful
Yeah.
colors to look at.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had trouble getting this one, but I had to get a third skein. There's a couple of other that I'll talk about later that I had to, kind of communicate a lot to get the right skein and the right weight with the right colors and all
Gotcha.
that. So, but
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite dyers, Sock Obsession, and Mother, I showed it to her, and she seemed to think that would be just fine. So I got it started.
Cool. You've got it started?
Yeah, I've got
Is it top down or bottom up?
It's top down,
Or flat or whatever. Yeah.
and I've got the ribbing around the neck done, and that's all.
Oh, look how fun!
I was ready to go on, but I was at Mom's, and I got the ribbing done, but I needed to change needle sizes and didn't have the needles with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, she got a little neck.
I think it'll stretch.
Yeah, but still, little head. It does quite a bit,
No, I know it does.
but I was
You're
worried.
using a bulb stitch marker? How dare you?
I'd be
It's what I
insulted.
had with me.
Yeah, but I've switched all mine out pretty much. I only carry the bulbs
That's because you're a better person than I am.
when I travel because I drop them, and since you can get 9,000 of those for, I don't want to. But I did give the lady that I talked to. I gave her some of your stitch markers.
Oh, good.
So she has yours, and I told her where to get more, and she thought they were amazing. I said, you should get on there because she's got tons of fun stuff. She was so excited that she learned all this fun new stuff and things. And I
Her
told her-
husband's going to be so pleased that she met you.
Yeah.
He actually does, because she buys a lot of skeined yarn from Michael's, Joann's, and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it comes out in a clump a lot of times. And
Oh, yeah.
He's the detangler. He likes
Oh,
that
he
part.
likes
And I
the
said, well, then
detangling.
you would be very happy being the guy who would help her with the independent dye, because it's one of these long ones if you're going to roll it in the ball and you have to do the back and forth.
Well, you can get those.
So,
you
you
can
get
get
a
merino.
grinder.
Well, you can get merino wool right now at Hobby Lobby.
Yes, and it's with a little bit of acrylic too in it,
Yeah.
and it's all really
Yeah.
nice. So, and I
Washable.
mentioned that to her as well. Nice lady. They were from
Wherever.
whenever.
So speaking of stitch markers.
Oh yeah, Sue has to tell us to. I'm going to write this down.
The ones this week for a giveaway, I put up a picture on the Instagrams. They are sock stitch markers, sock knitting stitch markers, or I guess anything on a size 3 or smaller because they are very small. And the way you're going to win them this week is the first person to post a picture of a current project on a size 3 or smaller and tag Flock Around the Table on Instagram. I will.
Can you take a picture of mine? Do I count?
No, you don't qualify. I will send you these.
She's such a spoiled one.
And if you don't win, I'll get them up on Etsy for the people who don't win, if they really want some. But these were tested by Miss Jennifer,
Yay, Jennifer.
because she's a sock knitter.
Oh,
So
she is,
she took a picture, and she goes, "I love these. They slide. They're super cute, and the bead spins around. So there's nothing.
Oh, that's fun. See, now
Yeah,
these are triangular.
They're triangle
Neat.
with a bead on them. So
I don't
go
have
ahead and
any
check
of
them out on
these.
Instagram. You'll see them on Instas. But
See, now I could
tag
take
Flock
these.
Around the Table on Instagram with your current
You should get ones that look like
size 3 or smaller knitting.
pool balls, like on a pool
Stop
table.
it.
How fun would that be?
Stop it.
Bling! You could play a game.
Stop it.
You could play a game. That'd be so much fun.
So the first person who posts a picture on Instagram with that, I will contact and get your.
Did somebody remember
yes.
Micah's dog's name?
Yes,
Oh,
we had
heavens, lots of
several
folks.
people. We had several people, and I already got them to her, and she already took a picture and sent back, and yep.
Cool.
So,
I watched the episode, but
but you couldn't remember Micah's dog's name, so you didn't
no, I
comment.
couldn't figure it out. I figured I wouldn't win at all because somebody would say that was rigged. So anyway, I didn't comment because
didn't
I didn't
comment.
turn the iPad on until I watched it on the computer in the hotel, and then because you can only have one thing on the ship on the internet at a time, I just left my phone because it was too much of a hassle to turn this to.
You know, you can watch it on your phone too.
Yeah, I didn't. I read my books on my phone. I read 2 books and listened to 4 different books. That's how fun this whole week was. I could have been totally educated if I had gotten something important to read, but I didn't. I got number 5 and 6 of David Baldacci, Amos Decker. Good series. And I read this one called A.J. Furkel, The Life of A.J. Furky. It was on Lolo Did It's book list a couple months ago. And I was flipping through just before I was getting ready to go on the cruise, and I ordered it from the library, and I actually physically took a book instead of on my phone. Pretty good book. It's okay. I mean, it was easy reading, light, fun. You could pick it up, put it down. So it was nice. So thank you, Lauren, for your suggestion. I guess she does this every month. She has a book of the month or something like that.
Awesome.
How that girl can do all the stuff she does. And
then because there was...
Have the other... I'd hire somebody to read
She
it.
has staff.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
She
I'd hire
has
somebody to do that. Yeah.
She has staff that helps with that.
Yeah.
But she's also amazing.
Yeah.
In her own way.
Yeah, true.
I caught one of her Instagram posts, and her expression was just absolutely priceless. So that's what I put. I commented. I'm like, your expression is awesome.
That's kind of neat.
So, okay.
All right.
I think I have everything I did. I can talk
Hi, Ryan.
more.
Hi, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. How was Ryan's party? Is he totally 18?
I have no idea.
You didn't
He
know?
worked, didn't he?
He worked.
He worked on his
You
birthday.
worked for the weekend, and he worked.
He worked.
And by the
Typical
time-
18-year-old. Just gotta work.
Then this weekend we were all to get together, and he worked. So I've not seen him.
That's what happens with those teenagers. They
I
work
know.
when they can
Well,
work.
go, Ryan. Good boy for being out there working and doing your
yeah.
thing, And Caitlin's still doing fine.
Caitlin is still being amazing.
Okie dokie.
Awesome.
That's what we...
I might have to make these for me, too. These are pretty cool.
Okay.
Anyway.
We're going to give you folks a rest. Don't forget to comment. We love the comments.
They just want to go clean out their ears because they probably think I blew out their
Are you kidding?
things.
They're all cleaned out.
That's what that crap is on your face from her earwax shooting on you.
Oh my gosh, Deborah.
I'm terrible.
Keep knitting. And thank you for watching. And subscribe if you're not
subscribe,
subscribed.
comment, but
Tell your
don't
friends.
forget to
Come back. We'll see
tag
you
us
again.
over on Insta.
Wait. Good day. I'll get it. Yeah.